Hello and welcome to Yesterday's Canada podcast, a podcast series to explain Canadian history from 1713 to 1800 AD. This is an 8-podcast series being posted on YouTube under the name Prehistoric Pixel. These podcasts will showcase major events, disputes, battles, and more. Stay tuned, episodes drop every Sunday. Our topic today is Canadian history from 1713 to 1723. Let's get started right at the beginning. In 1713, the Treaty of Utrecht was signed. The treaty recognized Queen Anne as the legitimate sovereign of England and officially ended French support for the claims of the Jacobite Party to the British throne. Territorially, it resulted in major concessions by France in North America.
Wow, poor French people.
Queen Anne's War, that began in 1702, was one of the great events ended by the Treaty of Utrecht. The war was second in a series of wars fought between Great Britain and France in North America for control of the continent. It was contemporaneous with the War of the Spanish Succession in Europe. The immediate cause for the War of the Spanish Succession was the death of the childless Charles II of Spain, and then the war began, which led to a struggle for the control of the Spanish throne. Overall, the Treaty of Utrecht remains one of the most significant events in Canadian history.
I can definitely agree with that.
Yep. Approaching 1716, we come to the Oath of Allegiance to the French. Over 800 Acadians took the Oath of Allegiance at this time and signed a provisional oath to be faithful and maintain true allegiance to His Majesty King George.
Oh, His Majesty King George! Wait, but who are the Acadians?
Oh, the Acadians are French settlers who were not forced, but who moved to Canada, and they eventually just settled in Canada.
Got it, thanks.
Anyway, in 1717, Fort Kaministiquia, I definitely mispronounced that, was founded by French merchants to be the first in a series of forts which was reaching westward to expand and trade and seek a route to the Western Sea, aka the Pacific Ocean. The founding of this fort was what prompted the construction of Fortress Louisbourg in 1720. This fort was close to Isle Royale's easternmost point, and it was basically Fortress Louisbourg was there to prevent anyone from passing into Quebec City. Another major event in 1717 was the founding of Fort Prince of Wales by the Hudson's Bay Company.
Wow, that must have been a mighty fort.
It
Yeah,
was.
it was.
But it actually began as a log structure built by James Knight, a worker of the Hudson's Bay Company, and was originally called the Churchill River Post. In 1719, the post was renamed Prince of Wales Fort. It was located on the west bank of the Churchill River to protect and control the company's interest in the fur trade, and since beavers usually live beside rivers, they needed an outpost there. Moving on to 1720, French forts across the Mississippi River spread northward from New Orleans. By this point, the French were trying to compensate for their loss of land and were building their territory wherever there was space, which could also mean the USA. As mentioned before, their most famous fortress at the time was the Louisbourg on the southeast tip of Cape Breton.
Louisbourg, I will never keep going.
Louisbourg was not just anything. As mentioned as any times, Louisbourg was one of the most important forts.
Yeah.
In 1722, the Tuscarora, a small indigenous tribe who had migrated north from the Carolinas, became the sixth nation of the Iroquois Confederacy. Prior to European contact, the Tuscarora lived in the Carolinas alongside the Nornock, the Neuse, Tar, and Pamlico rivers. They are accepted by the Haudenosaunee League according to the terms of the League Constitution. No other native nations had such a provision as this, and other alliances and confederations were all temporary and informal.
That is all for today's daily podcast. Make sure to subscribe to Prehistoric Pixel and stay alert for the next episode in the series. This is Yesterday's Canada, tuning out.